Okay, so we have a couple of speakers coming up to get us started for today. Leigh-Anne Stafford is here. She is the director of the Oakland County Health and Human Services. And she's here also with Monique Guerrero, the chief financial officer and the deputy manager of the Oakland County Neighborhood and Housing Development Division. And they are here and ready to sort of get us started in terms of laying out the groundwork of what today will look like, what it'll sound like. And yep, sure, grab a seat, put your mic on, and you guys have at it.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. And so I'm just going to kick it off very fast, and then I'm going to turn it over to Monique, where she will talk about all of the opportunities and funding and programs that we have in Oakland County. But initially, or say traditionally, Oakland County government, our neighborhood and housing development area or division, was really focused around home improvement and housing counseling. But when we started to look at the data that existed in Oakland County, we saw where there are cities in Oakland County less than 5 to 10 minutes away where the life expectancy is less a 10 years difference. Only 5 miles away. And we said, what is that telling us? And so when the new administration came in under Executive Coulter, we really started looking at that data and said, what makes sense for our community to develop the right department to tackle both health and housing? And so we restructured our divisions and created a new robust health and human services department that brings health and housing together. And we continued to look at that, and we saw how the health inequalities really intersect with housing and homelessness. So what you're going to see, and Monique is going to talk about a lot of the programs that we have, but even moving forward is how do we build more attainable housing in Oakland County? And not just in 2 or 3 cities. How do we spread it out through all of Oakland County? So we're just getting started, right? And really trying to ramp this up. We've got new leadership coming in next week, which we're incredibly excited about. So watch for us. We're going to be doing opportunities in the community to hear about outside of what Monique is going to talk about and how you can help us. We cannot do this alone. Right? Oakland County cannot say, okay, we have this funding and now we're just going to stand here and you come and get it. We have to be in the communities, helping build the communities, and that's where we are successful. So I want to say thank you again for everyone in this room that's kind of already partnered with us, but you're going to see us more out in the communities, really being more involved there. So I'm going to turn it over to Monique. She's going to talk about our programs and then I guess take questions if we have them. So.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Thank you. Well, let's all look around. I didn't know if we would be situated in tables or chairs this morning, but let's all look around and welcome each other. Everybody say bienvenidos. Welcome in Spanish. Everybody say bonjour. This is welcome in native, indigenous Ojibwe language of my people. This is my inclusive welcome to you all. Unfortunately, I have just the 2 languages to speak to today. Give me some more time. Maybe I'll pick up a few others. But in speaking of inclusivity, let me share with you all the mission of the Neighborhood and Housing Development Division, which is to support equitable and inclusive communities. You see what I did there? It's early. It's fine. Let me share with you all what it is that we do, what we aim to do, and what are the programmatic elements that assist us in carrying out our goals and missions. And if you'll give me just a moment, I was wondering if I would have a table here. So hopefully I do not drop my cards, and we're going to give each other some grace this morning. All right. Our goals are to preserve and to develop affordable and attainable housing, to create a choice and opportunity for low-income households. So we aim to do this by supporting capital improvements, reducing housing discrimination, and affirmatively furthering fair housing and equal opportunities. Also, by community engagement, as Leigh-Anne said, we will engage with the communities to deepen collaboration and trust. For those who may not be aware, I'd like to provide some information about how it is that we operate. We have a home improvement program that involves property, single-family owned and owner-occupied duplexes. These are interest-free deferred loans up to $18,000 for health and safety repairs. So these can be things like roof work, water systems, water heater, waste systems, electrical hazards, and municipal code violations. We have a housing counseling arm of our division. We have certified housing counselors on staff. They provide both virtual and in-person counseling sessions to individuals who are interested. They go over a variety of things for people: reverse mortgage counseling, fair housing, rental counseling. This could be kind of like some difficulties. Help me navigate these conversations or processes with my landlord. I'm really seeking some help. Who is it that I should refer to if I meet barriers and things of that nature? Post-purchase non-delinquency, credit repair, and budgetary concerns, to name a few of the things that they go over. We have the CDBG program. This is a flexible formula-based program to keep communities sound, attractive, and economically viable. So the communities themselves decide how it is they wish to spend the money. And the Oakland County Department, we simply administer the documentation that's necessary to record and track those activities and make sure that those activities are in fact eligible for that pot of money. These programs can be senior service related, youth, mental health, down payment assistance, childcare, housekeeping, and things of that nature. Again, that's just to name a few. We have the home program. This is a home program geared towards strengthening public and private partnerships to expand the supply of decent, safe, sanitary, and affordable housing. The money partially funds our HIP program. It fully supports the rental gap development financing program, and it supports community housing development organizations and affordable housing development efforts. We really are looking to foster and cultivate continued partnerships with those organizations. If you will, for just a moment, would you please raise your hand and let's draw some attention and really celebrate you in this moment. If you are a CHODO organization, would you please raise your hand? Thank you to you all. Thank you so much. We administer the Emergency Solution Grants. This is a grant that assists those who are homeless or at risk of homelessness and to assist in the operation of shelters. The dollars contribute to operations and essential services for the shelters themselves and warming centers, homeless prevention and rapid rehousing services, as well as the administrative cost of management info systems. Some time ago, the Homeless Blueprint was created. Oakland County received funding for the research and creation of the comprehensive, actionable plan to end homelessness in Oakland County. This involved the needs assessment, research, and best practices to identify collaborative solutions. The Oakland County contributes to the funding allocation of legal aid, eviction, and foreclosure prevention program. Oakland Mediation Center, Lakeshore Legal Aid, as well as Legal Aid and Defenders Association administer this program. Together, they support Oakland County residents going through the process of eviction or foreclosure prevention process. Unlocking Doors, also known as landlord mitigation. This is administered by Alliance for Housing. Can we have the Alliance for Housing team raise your hand? Let's celebrate and recognize you all. Thank you. This funding availability encourages landlords to rent to persons with housing choice vouchers. The program allows for participating landlords to receive reimbursement for unit repairs that are not covered by security deposits or insurance when they rent to a person who has a housing choice voucher. There is an allowable one claim per tenant, and this would cover a maximum of $3,000 in repair costs. The roof ramps and repairs program is administered by a third party via RFP or request for a proposal process, and then the work begins towards the completion of these projects. Brand new to the county. So brand new is a housing trust fund. Funding shall be used for the creation of or support of attainable and affordable housing units. These are distinct funds established by a city, county, or state governments which receive ongoing dedicated support of public funds. Also new is the rental development in the form of gap financing. So new to something that you may or may not have heard is the NOFA, Notice of Funding Availability. This will be an annual opportunity where developers can apply for this particular pot of money. This development is to preserve rental multifamily units supported by home funding. Projects outside of high poverty areas will be prioritized. The Neighborhood and Housing Development Division is focused on equity and mobilization efforts in the form, but not limited to, the following: The application of qualified income census tracts to determine eligibility for allowable funding sources. The home improvement program equity exceptions, this could be granted in cases where there are still some health and safety needs, but there's not enough equity in the home. And so what to do in those cases, that can be up for approval. Or perhaps the individual needs access to funding beyond their original contract amount. That will be looked at as well. The development of grant awards versus loan allocations. What does that look like? In what cases can those be applied? Interest in exploring proposals that potentially exist in an area where affordable housing options are not widely available to avoid concentrated areas of poverty. Being intentional about our partnerships and collaboration efforts. Being intentional in examining historic and current policies and procedures. And also being intentional, strategic, and mindful in the services we render and in thinking of and talking about those who we seek to serve and uplift. This is done through the lens of understanding of the vast, extensive historical, institutional disinvestment in certain communities. We want to explore investing in potential project proposals which would allow qualifying residents to be situated in areas where they can best thrive. That is, where there's access to medical facilities, job opportunities, educational opportunities, transportation, and healthy food options, to name a few things that would make a community a quality place to succeed and flourish. As you can see, the Neighborhood and Housing Development Division is doing a number of things in the housing space, as are all of you. But there's still plenty of work to be done, which is what we will go into further today in our breakout sessions. We look forward to continued conversation, networking, and collaboration with you all to continue the innovative and solution-based work. It will take us all doing our part to achieve success. Thank you, gracias, amiguech, for being here. Thank you to the Pontiac Housing Commission for having myself and Director Leigh-Anne Stafford, and enjoy the rest of the program.